Just to show of hands real quick, who has placed a bet on a sportsbook app in the past week? This is a very smart room, so okay, good. Me too. I have. So it's actually Build a Bookie and Sharp House will go into both, and why I've done both. So it's the creative and practice layer for betting, and my company is Durham App Design. So we're gonna start with Meet the Team. It's just me. I'm a solo technical founder. I have my own company, Durham App Designs. I build apps and websites for people. I'm a huge proponent for artificial intelligence. I published my first book on AI last year. If you want to check it out, that was me at an AI conference talking. And one big thing, both these products today are in stable production development, which allows me to fully focus on marketing more while also keeping and maintaining the apps. So getting right into it, betting is very accessible but dangerous. It's one of the few apps where you can just hop on, create an account, and the first thing you have to do to interact is put money into the account, and that leads to very easy losses. It's also legalized in most places, so 38 states and Washington, D.C., so it's here to stay. We're not going to lose betting anytime soon. But there's nowhere safe to practice without any pressure to place more bets or put down more money. And a lot of these platforms put money straight to the core. They're really optimizing for addiction. They want you to place more money or more bets. So I broke down betting into three components: money, tracking, and camaraderie. And I asked what happens if you remove money, and it actually kind of unlocks a new category. So that's our company vision: gamify prediction trading or gambling for everyone. And how do you do this? We developed two apps that we want to become the best-in-class tools and platforms for this free/practice space for betting. And to start, we'll go with Build a Bookie, the playground. So this app was the first one. I built it based on what if you could bet on yourself. So it started out like bowling league, golf, but then if you're betting on the average human, sports don't really apply that much. So it changed into how many work emails will you send this week? How many steps will you take this month? Or if you want to join the betting matrix, how many bets will you hit this week? So you're betting on yourself and your friends and shared outcomes. It's not against the house. It's all free. And you're tracking real outcomes. Right now, all the tracking is manual, but we want to partner with different apps like health apps so that you don't actually have to grade the bets yourself. It can just do it based on your steps, your sleep, whatever. Early users consistently said it's very nice to bet without worrying about losing real money. So this led to Sharp House, which is just the training ground. It's a realistic sportsbook simulator for people to practice real betting. And we have the odds API that's updating money line, spread, and over/under for the NHL, NFL, NBA, and NCAA basketball. So this is for gamblers to practice with free virtual currency and become better before they put real currency down. So here's the two apps side by side. You have the creative layer, and then you have the realistic simulation layer. And this is where people become better gamblers, or if you want to use the better is the word I don't want to use, but that's what I say sometimes. But no real money is involved. And where does this fall in the competitive landscape? So in between the money first platforms, the sport books and prediction markets, and then fantasy sports, because fantasy sports are a free platform where people go. So because we're a gaming platform, we're legal in all 50 states. We don't have to worry about a lot of regulatory and geographic constraints. And we can be sportsbook-like, but still have social stuff like fantasy sports. So we remove money, but we replace it with competition. And what's that market opportunity look like? Fantasy sports has 57 million active US players, and 80% of that is fantasy football, so it's a very seasonal engagement. And then sports betting is over 50 million users, and there's a lot of curious people who understand the financial risk and don't want to get into betting. So there's not any dollar signs on this slide because we're not competing for gambling dollars. Gambling platforms make their money off losses, and we would make our money off of a different revenue stream. So premium accounts and advertisements, which is pretty standard for gaming apps. And then partnerships would be a big thing. So one thing with Sharp House, prediction markets have a pretty big bridge and learning gap. You could look at education use cases so people could practice on prediction markets before they enter real money. And with two products, you have two distinct revenue engines. So for funding, we're looking to raise a small pre-seed round for paid marketing and then expand Sharp House for the markets, for player props and live betting simulations just to get deeper. Right now it's updating every 30 minutes, but it runs at 3 cents a day, so it's very cheap for me. And capital would also give us flexibility to make a first strategic hire if that would outperform pure ad spend. And finally, traction. So Build-A-Bookie's 5 months old, 250 plus organic users. That would be people who I haven't talked to that just joined the app on zero paid marketing. And then Sharp House just came out to start 2026. You have live markets. They're running right now. So anyone can hop on. Here's both the apps. And thank you. Bet on us. Thank you.
Thanks for the pitch, Vincent. I was telling someone just yesterday that I hear a sports betting pitch every day now. As a person who's got a background in crypto, like that's constantly a thing. So I've got a couple of things in preparation. So I think that the presentation, clearly you've taken time to know the industry and you're trying to think through the opportunities that play alongside. The fact that you set it up to where you are able to operate in all the states because it's not truly gambling is great. Can you talk a little bit more about the premium tier? Like, I don't think there was a dollar amount on there.
Yep. So I haven't added a dollar amount. I haven't gone to monetization yet. That's the next step right now. I'm about to put it in review tomorrow, hopefully. But I was thinking $4.99 for monthly subscription, and then $40 for a yearly payment. And in a gambler's mind, when you look at that, $5 is one bet. So really, you're canceling one bet to get on a free platform to place as many bets as you want. And that's what I like about that. And then Build-A-Bookie, the same way. I like that one being free longer, but for unlimited book creation, $4.99. It's really we have Google, it's a Google startup, so I have the database kind of covered right now. So I don't worry too much about that, but once that runs out, it starts growing enough, then I'd start looking into making premium accounts on Build-A-Bookie as well.
Awesome. All right. One question and one comment. So the question I have is, have you at this point gotten feedback from, so I think you said, which one has already been out? Build-A-Bookie's been out? That's the one I can bet on my emails and my steps and stuff? Okay, so I guess as I'm thinking, once the sports book happens, the training ground, as I wrote down here, have you talked to users about the psychology behind, damn, I should have made that bet? Like the regret aspect of it, alluding to our previous presenter.
Not yet. That was something I thought about. Actually, when I talked to people about it, some people had said the psychology of losing money actually draws people to gambling apps, which surprised me on that. Actually, like having the risk of losing money is one of the draws to gambling apps, and I was surprised when I heard that.
Well, so that's the thing I was going to go to is that. So recently read Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke and then Quit by Annie Duke. But Thinking in Bets, she's a former poker player, all this. The risk is part of it, right? And so I like to tell people, even as an angel investor, people say, I want to learn angel investing. I say, oh, well, the first part is putting some money up. Like, that's where you're going to care. So just thinking through that, I'm just trying to wonder how that'll play out. That's probably going to be a data thing. The last thing I have as far as a comment before I pass it to my esteemed colleagues is I think having two apps creates friction under the house. And so it would be very easy to have a training mode. That is, you can toggle and make the fake currency or whatever, but now you're trying to figure out how many users convert from Build-A-Bookie to Sharp House and all that. And so it seems like your attention would be divided and marketing dollars would be divided. I would suggest having it under one app download and then allow people to have a training mode and a simple toggle. But that's just feedback.
Yeah. Thank you.
So it's not true anymore, but I used to be a licensed gaming professional in about 250 jurisdictions, right? I used to know a lot about gambling and gaming and that kind of stuff. And your presentation was really interesting. It surprised me. You've got a lot of really good stuff in this. And I love you. You're awesome, right? Didn't y'all love Vince? It was good. It's good. I think that you could have something here, and my suspicion is that you'll totally fail unless you find a niche and you really focus on dominating that niche as opposed to trying to be broad and go out to the great unwashed and all the people in the world. And if I were on your team and I were talking to you about what niche to dominate, I would go where I had a distribution advantage. I go where I could get people who would like, where I could get access to more people. Because to Harold's point, the space that you're picking is not uncrowded, right? And you're not going to be able to spend your way to victory here. You won't. And so you need to find a bar where when your app walks in, everybody goes, Vince, you need that. That's what I think. What do you think of that?
No, I agree with that.
Do you know what the niche is? I don't think your microphone is working. That's okay. You have to just speak up, Vince.
I would say college campuses would be a quick growth, just from around growing like young students, and that's a big. But again, it kind of takes away from like the dangers of gambling. So if you're going for college kids, they get to gamble for free, but does that affect the market?
So to me, college kids, way too broad, right? You need to say Dayton.
Yeah.
You need to say, we're going to dominate freaking Dayton. We're going to dominate Wofford. I don't know. Some little tiny place. You need to go have it thrive in some little tiny place where it is an unstoppable thing there because of how people feel about it.
Yeah.
That's where I'd go.
Yeah.
Right? And just prove it in the smallest, most irrelevant little corner of the world and find out what makes that tick, and then just go do another one. Because if you go flat against everybody in the world, it's a good idea, won't go anywhere, in my opinion. Yeah. It's good, though. You were awesome. It's good. Yeah.
Well, I can't really compete with this expertise. I just won my fantasy football leagues twice.
Oh.
I'm good. I'm just saying. But no, real question. And this is taking a completely different direction. Is the intent to be kind of a gambling avoidance kind of a thing?
Yes, I would. So on the one slide, it was like looking for partners. So I never really want to turn it into a gambling book, a sports book. I would like to stay away from that and be like a practice. That's where the free layer or practice simulation layer would be.
Okay, so I thought that's what you were thinking. So I have a completely different niche. Have you ever talked to addiction specialists?
No, I've not.
So my thought immediately was, if that's your goal, chat with some addiction specialists, and just like we use other things to step people down from their addiction, this could be a very interesting niche where the medical or healthcare or mental health community could say, oh, here's a step down, and you get the same dopamine hit from being at risk, but you don't act, you're not losing money, you're not putting your family at risk, so on and so forth. So that could be a very interesting application that you get a lot of support from, because there's a really, really big problem I think you're identifying. In the exact opposite way, from a healthcare perspective, if this is released to the wild, I'll call it, you become the gateway drug to just betting.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly
I
right.
was thinking about like claiming it's the vape to gambling, but like you just said, it's a double-edged sword, and I haven't talked to experts, so I don't claim that at all yet, because I don't know which way this will go.
So raise your hand if you have not vibe coded an app. Raise your hand if you have not done that. Okay, shame on all of you. See me after class. Go vibe code now. I vibe coded our family's football picking app this last summer. People love it, man. And there's not $1 at stake. It's just the social component of us talking about the stuff that we want to do in our little niche. So there's a thing there, but she's right. If you are an on-ramp or an off-ramp from gambling, that's really weird. That's a hard needle to thread, right? And so I would think about all the positioning around that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who wants to ask Vince a question?
I think those are some really good comments, but I would say, what about if you look the opposite way for the addiction and psychology? So I think of atomic habits. What if you're looking to build a positive habit? So like a fitness or some kind of a habit you want to enforce, that they can use this to kind of build.
Well, that was one thing, a comment I got on Build a Bookie that I was surprised about. Someone was like, this is a very interesting way. So there's personal books where you can bet against yourself. And basically that would be like workouts. You can see how many workouts will I skip, how many steps will I take that I could talk about. And somebody said this is a very interesting take on personal health, like managing yourself. But then on, like we talked about, the Sharp, it's 2 apps, so there's a lot. It's a broad, as you guys talked about, it's very broad right now.
With that, let's give it up for Build a Bookie.
Thank you.